Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to get into a few stories about content creator burnout and when it's time to notice what we're watching, people needing a little bit more wellness in their lives. Lately, we've been seeing more and more public moments that make people uncomfortable, angry, or confused. Instead of asking what's wrong with them, we want to ask a different question. What's happening to people's mental illness, trauma, and consistent visibility and collide with no wellness support? Let's get into GloRilla's sister, GloRilla. GloRilla recently came out online and stated that her sister took an IQ test or maybe a mental health exam, and the doctors felt like she needed to stay in an institution just for a little bit more support. But as a result, GloRilla decided to leave and break out of the mental institution independently. Let's look at this.
And they laughing at you and not with you. You making a fool out of yourself. I want you to know that. Like, I could have got on there and told them how you broke out of Lakeside. How you had to take an IQ test and they determined that you had to go to the mental hospital. And how you broke out that bitch. And they had to find you and come bring you back. You're a mental patient, so I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. And the world is making fun of you, and I hate that for you. But
we as people need to understand what we're ingesting when we see people like GloRilla's sister. It's no different than that family member that needs to be diagnosed or that family member that's been in and out the hospital for emotional stability. So why in this world will we take the time out to actually listen to GloRilla's sister? It appears to me that her wellness is not being addressed, and that the more fame and the more people exploit her, the more she feels that she is on the right path and doing the right thing. But we can all tell, and GloRilla has said out her mouth. Let's get into rapper and content creator iHeartMemphis, also known as I Love Memphis, was arrested early Tuesday, February 10th, following a live stream standoff with the police in Florida during what authorities described as an apparent mental health crisis. Plantation police confirmed that the officers responded to the residence on Monday night after receiving reports that the rapper, who was named Richard Maurice Calvert, was armed and barricaded inside the home. According to police, Calvert was taken into custody on an active warrant, making written and electronic threats. The arrest occurred several hours after the officers made contact with him at the property. Authorities said Colbert was transported to a local hospital for evaluation, precaution, and before he was booked into custody, he faces and making written and electronic threats to kill or resist the officer. During the incident, Colbert's live stream confronted on social media in a video. He was holding what appeared a firearm and speaking with the officers outside the residence at gunpoint, and he reportedly told the officers that he was God and did not sleep. If anybody remembers his hit record, it was Hit the Crime, Hit the Crime. And so many people with their outpours were worried about his well-being. Just to let you know, there are signs of mental health before we get an actual breaking point. Maybe it was drug-related. Maybe it was just trying to continue to keep up with the standards of having money and being relevant. And content is a way to do it, especially if you can just pick up your phone, put on a camera, and go live and maybe get money for it. But hopefully, after this arrest, they put him in a treatment so he can get the proper wellness that he needs. Kick streamer Clavicular has been getting into a little bit of trouble a lot lately for the past 1 to 2 weeks. Recently, he was arrested on a live stream in Arizona. He was booked for 2 Class 4 felony counts involving possession of a forged instrument and dangerous drugs and possession or use. 20-year-old Brandon Peters also was in a little bit of trouble just a week before that while his girlfriend was getting into an altercation, also on live. As he was doing a gambling stream, him and one of his girlfriends and another member at the house got into a physical altercation. Clavicular's girlfriend approached streamer Jenny Popach in an aggressive argument while they were streaming at a gambling match. It appears that Clavicular was helping his girlfriend while she was physically assaulting the streamer Jenny Popach. It appears that the pressure of trying to live stream, although that everybody may not be mentally in the right headspace, and unresolved feelings may arise while they're streaming and things were not approached. So as a result, unresolved feelings and issues are being addressed all in front of a camera, a phone, or whatever people use just to stream for content. During the fight, Clavicular helped his girlfriend by holding Jenny Popach while they were getting into the physical altercation. Maybe because it was streamed and they did not want to lose their account, they ended up muting the live stream and eventually turning the camera off. Now, one could say this is all just for clout or all trying to find a way to keep themselves relevant, but really it's giving that it's unresolved emotional well-being concerns that aren't being addressed offline, and as a result are being addressed online. And maybe we need to sprinkle a little bit more wellness into the people before they get on the screen so things like these don't happen. And who could forget the tragic animal cruelty story about Aspen Kartier, who has been arrested on January 30th, 2026 at Brookhaven, Georgia. After a clip surfaced of Aspen Kartier of her doing some type of animal cruelty to a dog while she was on live stream, she began to double down and discuss how much she did not need any type of business with live streaming altogether, and she can go back to her old ways. Check this clip out.
About no big streaming. Stop saying it ain't like I give a fuck, cause I really don't. I can get blackballed. I don't give no fuck. I don't make money off this shit for real. I could go back to trapping and stealing cars. Fuck this internet shit. I really do something to one of these little kids or one of these content creators.
She mentions she can go back to trapping and stealing cars. But if that was the case, that would have been what you have done the whole entire time. In all actuality, it appears that maybe your wellness needed to be addressed, and maybe content wasn't what you needed to do. What I find is that a lot of people overlook their issues and their problems and think that getting in front of a camera is the resolve. But in all actuality, once the camera shuts down and once nobody is watching, you are there with your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own mind. And how are you going to address your wellness? Thank you again for watching Mrs. Sprinkle of Wellness. And just remember, always to put yourself first. Always to be mindful of who you are as a human being, because we're out there watching you. You're putting your camera on. Have a great day.